One. Hold on. Let me get to the count. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. One, two.
This is the version that just peters out.
The sound of thunder, how they hang their heads and run. Let no man put asunder what on this day has been done. Then you bite your lip as they burst into your room. Father, don't believe them, you're wonderful. And his sneer says it's a gorilla coat, but it says made in Korea. So you bite your lip as he spins them all a yarn, eccentrically, authentically.
You're a bit of a Jim Morrison lover, because there are those who are sort of trying to demolish his myth, Julian, aren't there?
I think they've been taking the last 20 years demolishing his myth.
Yeah, but I mean...
how do you demolish a myth that's already demolished by the person who created it in the first place?
Right, dismantled from within, his own legend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Do you know the thing that got me was Lester Bangs called him Bozo Dionysus.
Right.
And all it said, even though Bangs is a genius, was that he was misunderstanding who Dionysus was, because of course Dionysus is a bozo himself.
Right.
Read the myths. To be a god, you've got to be a stupid wanker.
And so that's Jim Morrison. There you go. They're the basis of the whole thing. Right, that's number 1 on tonight's Crucial 3. Here's a clip of record number 2. Julian, how the devil are you? How very nice
devil,
to see.
okay.
Yeah, very
How
good.
in the name of the old religion are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. Now then, as always, I think some fashion tips to begin with.
I think so.
Let me describe again. You're looking at kind of cross between...
Nash and Young.
Well, cross between Nash and Young. That's a good tribute band name, isn't it? But you're looking at sort of a cross between the Third Reich on the buses and... well, that covers it, really. Bit of Hell's Angel in there as well.
I think so.
Right.
Yeah.
What's this? But this is a spectacular hat you're wearing.
I'm heaping cliche upon cliche till there is no more cliche because I've had them all.
Right. Okay. So I mean, it is a kind of German officer's cap, is it?
German officer's cap, third eye complete. You know.
It's good that.
Yeah.
I might think about that because I'm not the tallest, and that's giving you an extra 4 inches.
Yes,
At
and
least.
the rest. Yes.
At least. And so you're deliberately dressing. I was reading about you in Word magazine. Mark Allen, the editor of Word, is on tomorrow night's program. There's a big piece on you in Word. It's sort of the gospel according to St. Julian.
Lovely.
Really. And you're sort of dressing deliberately to unsettle old women at motorway service stations.
Absolutely,
Really.
yeah. It's the super biddy alert.
Is this because you think... I mean, we were talking about this the other day, and it's very nice that everybody's nice, and all bands are nice and entirely reasonable, and there's something to be said for that. And yet... you do need the odd Pete Doherty, don't you?
You do. I think it's cool. I think he's good. I like it. And I stand for moronic toss.
Yeah, I mean, you do need a bit of that. You do need a bit. How's your contact lenses shaping up? Talking of all things rock
Quite
and
good,
roll.
actually. I'm kind of over staring at you.
Right.
They've been in 16 hours.
Yeah, they have. Do you know, it's quite disconcerting because how long have I known you? About like a squillion years.
Yeah.
I think it's the first time I've ever seen your eyes.
Yeah, and they're not really like piss holes in the snow the way they should be.
No, you look quite radiant and healthy and shaven, and your pallor is not deathly. Yeah, right. Now then, so I said it was suggested that when Julian came on and he said, what do you fancy? I said, well, in fact, we had the sort of heavy metal multi-layered guitars. Let's have a sort of something altogether more bucolic and acoustic and pastoral, which is why I turn up with electric guitar, bass, drums, and mellotron.
Well, the thing is, right, I thought I'd accept your metaphor via the mellotron because, of course, the mellotron is taped recordings of acoustic instruments.
Right. And I'm doing a programme on the history of the mellotron for Radio 4.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
There was a big question recently on the forum, one of the forums on our website, about is playing the mellotron practicing necromancy because half of them are now dead.
Oh, it's an interesting question,
isn't it?
Yeah, right. Anyway, right. So, who have we got with us today? We've got Doggan. Welcome back, Doggan.
Hello.
On the guitar, who was here last time. And
on the keyboards and percussion, Mr. E.
Evening.
How you doing?
All right.
And on the bass and the acoustic guitar, Zachary.
Zachary. Okay, perfect. So, what are you going to be playing for us first? What from which of your opuses or
This is from
opie?
the album Dark Orgasm,
Right.
and this is a song called Zoroaster.
Okay. Beautiful. Was that you're playing some effects off your Argos Ghetto Blaster over there, are you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Right. That was great on that one note, Mr. E. Yeah, we appreciated that. Julian Cope, live in performance on tonight's programme, and we've got 2 more tunes during the course of the programme. And as ever, the font of all knowledge of all things megalithic and modern. If there are any questions that you're just dying to ask him, then feel free via the email.
That's my next production rip.
That sounds great sound,
I'm
isn't it?
having that, yeah,
It's great sound.
completely, note for note.
It's the B-side of their debut single from 1978, the other side being...
Killing an Arab.
Killing an Arab, which I don't imagine is on heavy rotation on many classic gold stations these days. But there you go. Julian Cope is with us tonight. Actually, hello to Austin Ewell, who's emailed to me this interesting story, because you'll be interested in this because you're resplendent in your Germanic cap tonight.
Ja, mein Harry.
And we have been discussing and bemoaning, amongst many other sort of passings of great English traditions, that not enough people wear a hat. A good hat. A man needs a good hat,
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's for me. I'm more a Trilby man myself, and you can carry that on. But listen to this. Austin Newell sent this. This is appalling. A Trilby-wearing great-grandfather pause for applause. Every grandfather and great-grandfather, you shouldn't be able to draw state pension unless you go for it wearing a trilby, should you?
I think that's
fair.
Yeah.
A trilby-wearing great-grandfather was ordered to remove his hat when he tried to buy a drink in a city centre pub. Colin Osborne was told by staff at the Monument pub in Hereford he would have to take his hat off as it obscured his face from CCTV cameras. It's not right, is it? I mean, it's a kind of hoodie thing, you know, but I mean, anybody in a trilby's all right. You don't need to see their face, do you?
I don't know. He wouldn't have gone into our travel lodge tonight.
Well, you know, but anyway, Mr. Osborne told BBC News he had worn a trilby for 20 years. You see, there's the hallmark of a quality gent. Yeah. I've got to tell you, Mr. Osborne, we are emphatically on your side of this argument. Now then, I asked for questions for Julian Cope, and they're coming in. John the Bank has been on. Question for Julian. Is New Grange still considered the oldest building in Europe and 1,500 years older than the pyramids?
No.
Oh, right. What is New Grange? Excuse my ignorance.
Now, what you got is you got these amazing monuments in the Boyne Valley in Ireland, near Dublin, right? Now, Dublin has the same relationship with Ireland as London has with the rest of Britain. In other words, everybody hates everybody in Dublin.
Right.
So the Dublin academics are really made up that they've got the oldest tombs, but they hate the people of the Western Islands, especially Donegal, because they've just discovered monuments that are 2,000 years older. Not 200 years, but 2,000 years older.
2,000 years?
Yeah.
So that's 3,500 years ahead of the pyramids, then?
Oh, well, yeah.
Good heavens. Yeah. Good heavens. This is coming. So, does Julian remember his gig at Bressay Hall in Shetland?
I ran into the gig.
Did you?
You ran into the gig in, it was one of those where the audience was so heavy because they were just there to see the Ceilidh band. And I remember the support band just before me had just got bottled off, like whiskey bottled off. And I was standing there with Dorian and I was going, what do you reckon, Daffy Duck shorts or sooty shorts? So I went on and I did a 9-minute vocal-only mantra.
Yeah.
Now, you saw some of the Highlands and Islands gigs.
Yeah, well, I only got as far as Aberdeen.
Well, you and Mark were, I mean, you, but Aberdeen's quite high. Even to, again, Scottish people, they're more north-south than we are in England because they think as soon as they get north of Stirling that it's north. You know, so you get up to Aberdeen, a lot of people think that's like totally north.
Yeah. Well, because I'm hoping to get to I'm hoping to take this show and my group to the Shetlands in June, if it all works out, which is great. I was
Map 1, see, the Ordnance Survey map starts on Map 1. When we got to Map 1, you know what amazed me was what greeted us on Map 1. Welcome to Unst, done in New York subway style graffiti.
Cool. Map 1, though. You want to do that?
Map 1.
And then do some walking while I'm up there, and some drinking, and some playing, and some radioing.
And you know what they're doing now on the last Tuesday of every January? They have a thing called Up Helly Ya.
This is where they burn the Viking longboat.
Do you know what I like? Not only do they burn it, but they build it first.
Build it all winter and then burn it.
Yeah.
What a good idea. Up Helly Ya, I'm familiar with it, so I'm hoping to get up there, definitely. I mean, I was just saying, this article about you in Word magazine, Mark Allen's on tomorrow night's programme, and there's a kind of trend at the moment to teach rock and roll, and you're sort of very emphatic that it cannot be done, aren't you?
No, it's got to be a battle. It's got to be a bunch of morons fighting it out, proving over the years that they can keep it together. Dying by the wayside, like John Barleycorn trodden into the Mother Earth. Yeah, the cycle, the Pete Doherty gets it together, comes out and then trashed by the press, and then something else emerges. And he's, McFly in and out. Oh, yeah, it's pagan, man.
Did you see any of this programme Rock School with Gene Simmons from Kiss teaching those kids I forget the name of the school, but where they all wore kind of, these Regency outfits and everything. Did you see it? Because I started off with kind of not wanting to like him or it at all.
And you ended up liking the Gene.
And yet, the great thing was that he had Gene Simmons, because Gene Simmons, who's bass after all, and he's not even very good on the bass, is he?
And also, he's bass solo.
Yeah.
He's spitting blood and shaking the bass.
And that's all.
Which is what a bass solo should be.
Well,
it should just be a display of uber power.
It can't, you certainly don't want a display of bass, if you can help it. But I mean, the great thing was that his first lesson with the kids was how to walk in the room. Because he's right, it's all attitude, isn't it?
You know what? I was having to show Zachary the other day how to cross the street.
Yeah.
Because we were in Bath, right? And Bath's a bit,
Oh, I like Bath.
Oh, it's nice, but it's where you get away from the world. And we had to cross the street, and I was going, no, we're going into that shop, so we have to cross over here so that people have a chance to fear us.
Yeah.
If you just come round the side, they're just like, oh, who's that?
Yeah, right, you see. I think this is good. And also, you're also saying you should embrace gimmicks.
I'm the gimmick kid.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had any part of a career. Even my books are gimmicky.
Yeah, right.
Plenty of stuff to look at when you're on the toilet.
Yeah.
I wanted it, HarperCollins, Modern Antiquarian, dried my arse. You're there so long.
And be true to your metaphor. What do you mean by that?
Okay, well, what I say is this. If an artist has his metaphor right, if it's really full-on and thorough, you could possibly like it even if it was like, I don't know, Doom Country and Western.
Right.
So long as it's full-on Doom Country and Western.
Yeah.
It's when it's a little bit half and half. It's like when Kiss said, look, we're all these superheroes.
Yeah.
Right? So long as they're totally in character, you dig it. But then, to have a hit single in America, the drummer sung a horrible slushy ballad about his wife, Beth.
Yes.
Now, a Catman doesn't have a wife.
No.
And, and he plays the drums. He fell outside his metaphor, and with that, they became even bigger.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they should have taken it even further, because when the makeup came off, who wanted that? Nobody. Just
There's
looked
nothing worse than a pouting, preening Gene Simmons.
Nothing at all.
Because he's a bit of a doughhead.
But he is. But I thought they should have come, when they come back, and Peter Criss, I wanted him to, I went to see them in concert, and it was hilarious. It was like Panther. It was great, but I wanted them to take it even further. Like Peter Criss, who was the cat on the drums, I wanted him to have a big litter tray at the side of the drum riser.
Kitty litter.
That would have been fantastic, wouldn't it?
But that's where they're American and you're English, and
I know.
We're ahead of them. We're an older culture.
I know. To our eternal credit and satisfaction.
And smugness.
We're going to have another tune from Julian and Band after we've heard the new single from Kate Rusby. Julian Cope is here with Doggan on guitar, and Zachary, who's moved on to guitar as well, and Mr. E, who's on tambourine and one drum. But you're rather disappointed that you didn't think of bringing your own litter tray now, aren't you?
I am indeed, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I was thinking Peter Criss as well. He should have had a cat flap on the tour bus, shouldn't he? Shouldn't have gone through the... Should have lived out the dream of being a cat, shouldn't he? Absolutely. What are you going to play for us now, St. Julian?
We're going to play a song from Citizen Kane.
Right.
Something mellow and 11:30ish.
Lovely.
Something... this is Homeless Strangers. Can you hear me? Yeah? All right.
Right, okay. You're actually, people would think, looking at you and hearing some of your attitudes, that you'd be a very liberal and lax parent. But in fact, quite the opposite. You take it all very... You're sort of, quite keen on discipline and things, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm tough.
Yeah.
Well, I just figured that you just can't tell them lies, can you? So you've got to hip them to certain things. And also, I accept that I'm not the kind of dad to be seen in the town where they go to school. So they've always got that threat of me just turning up and having, a breakfast.
Right. Yes, indeed. Because Tony Blair's going on about discipline and respect, and he said, he smacked his kids, but not young Leo and everything. Do you sort of empathise with him on his quest for respect?
A bit late now, isn't it? He's only been in about 2 decades. I would have had that a bit higher up earlier on.
Anyway, right, there you go. Julian, you'll be pleased. Neil Tipton from Hereford has been on. Said, Mark and Julian, I'm pleased to report that I shared a pint with the very same Colin Osborne this evening in a different pub. This was the guy who was told to remove his trilby in the pub. And we sat with our hats firmly on. He'll be glad to hear of your support when I tell him, long live the trilby. So that's good stuff, isn't it, really? Also, Keith A has been on, said, Julian said once, nothing I do is ironic. I am post-ironic. Irony is the ultimate cop-out way of turning something you didn't mean into something you did. Yet he keeps talking about cliché. So, at the risk of sounding a dullard, how come irony's bad, yet cliché good?
I just think cliché has got to be true, because it's just been done so many times and said so many times. That's evidence. The
Right.
evidence that it is there.
Yeah.
And whereas irony is the cop out. It's something that you can say. I was saying this ironically. You're allowed to say anything.
Right.
I've been a knob hound in my life, but I'll admit when I was a knob hound.
Right.
You know, I won't hide behind it and go, I was going through an ironic phase.
Fair enough, right, okay, explain. Tony Foster in Dottingham says, can you ask Julian what on earth he was doing at his Royal Festival Hall gig last year? He spent half the gig lying on the floor and we could hardly see him. Was he ill? You're always a bit ill, aren't you? But what were you doing lying on the floor? People have paid good money to see it. Stand up, man, what's wrong
Do you know
with you?
what always amazes me is Cope fans are always so disappointed. And I just think, well, again, look at the evidence. Get into somebody who's going to guarantee a good time. And don't come and see me because obviously when at the festival hall, you know, even the guy who put the gig on just said, that is the most chaotic gig I've ever seen. The entire front 1,000 people were on drugs, love drugs as well. And all the people at the back were into this kind of voyeuristic watch the love druggies. And I just ran around the place, kind of consorting with, you know, both factions.
So it was a pagan rite in many ways.
It was fun. And it was done, you know, in the festival hall, which totally changes it, totally ups it.
And what about this one? Can you ask Julian if he minds his audience being naked for the forthcoming tour? Thank you, Amazon. Which sounds very promising, doesn't it?
Amazon... It's more provocative when you have the gear on.
Perfect. 18th Nottingham Rescue Rooms, 19th Wolverhampton Wolfram Hall, the 20th Bristol Academy, 22nd Newcastle Northumbria Uni, 23rd Leeds Metropolitan Uni, the 24th Manchester Academy, and the 25th Glasgow QMU, Queen Mother's Ullerskelf umbrella.
Yeah.
Okay then, and so we should say thank you because we should say our thank yous in advance of this song because this is going to be faded out,
Yes.
isn't it? By
You'll see me making fading moment.
this is it. So thank you very much to Zachary over there, and also to Mr. E on drums and percussion, and Doggan, as always, a pleasure. Yeah, and St. Julian of Cope. And what are you going to do for your last tune for us?
This is a song called When All You... This is from my rock opera,
Oh right,
A Dick in the Afterlife.
lovely.
And this is the song When All You've Got Is a Hammer, Everything Looks Like a Nail.